Hey guys, we're here again to show you some more details on this bike. Like most of my videos, they stem from questions that I'm receiving both on my Instagram, my Facebook page, and my YouTube channel. So I'm just trying to go through some of these different details and kind of give you an idea of what I did to build this bike. This one is my 1914 Tribute Harley-Davidson board track racer. This is set up as a racing bike, so as you can see, the handlebars are a lot lower. I was just kind of go through it front to back so you can kind of see the things that I did to make it what it is. Okay, so where do I get all of these parts from? That was one of the questions that I get a lot, and it comes from different suppliers. Some of the pieces I'll fabricate, some of the pieces are as simple as eBay, and some of them are from guys that build either other tribute bikes or even motorized bicycles. Some of these pieces will come from those different suppliers. So there's not one set guy that supplies everything here. So for example, these wheels and tires, these are Worksman wheels. So you can tell that a little bit heavier spokes. It's got a front drum brake. They're a lot heavier than what you would get on a normal bicycle type wheel. Now, I know some of you guys are building them on a budget. Can you use a bicycle wheel? Yes, absolutely you can. There are some that are better than others. Some of them have a little bit wider wheel with the heavier spokes. Just keep in mind that the lighter that you go on some of those items, lighter duty I should say, you go on some of those items, it may not be as safe, especially at the high speeds. Again, most of the time when I'm riding, I'm somewhere between 25, 30 miles an hour, just kind of cruising around the neighborhood. They do go a whole lot faster than that, and occasionally, just to kind of clear them out and have a little fun with it on a straightaway, I'll give it some gas and we'll go. But so some of the other pieces, the sprockets, most of the rear sprocket, the sprocket adapter, some of those I've been getting from places like MB Rebel. They have a lot of great pieces and parts that you can put together. The jack shaft, that's just an eBay type item. And this one is a little bit different from some of the ones that we've done on the other bikes where they've got a threaded into them. I'm starting to like those a little bit better. These, you have to cut a slot into the jack shaft so it locks the pedal in place, because you're still wanting to use the pedal assembly for the rear coaster brake. You want to have more than just the coaster brake if at all possible, but this one is set up to use the coaster brake just like the originals. The front forks, you've probably found these. These are on a, eBay kind of thing. It's nothing super secret about it. They come brand new, shiny, and all that kind of good stuff. I am going to make another video at some point on how to make these things look like they're 100 years old. Everybody calls it the Patina Look. I like the look. It draws a lot of attention at the car shows, and it looks the part. It doesn't look like a complete restoration. It looks more like a survivor. So going through the rest of it, handlebars, those are custom made bars, and of course the grips. You can get these grips on eBay. The clutch system on this one was a 3D manual clutch. Again, you can use a centrifugal force clutch. It works fine. It's a personal preference. This just happened to be the one that I used on this bike. The engine is, and I've mentioned in several of the other videos, this is a GC190. It's pretty much the same thing as the GC160. This just has maybe a horsepower and a half more, but nothing that's, dramatic. This top piece, though, I did make, and it's nothing more than some discs, some aluminum discs that I purchased. I spaced them out, and then this is just aluminum bar stock, and then it's all clamped together with a nut on the top of this whole thing, and it bolts to that cam cover. Some of these mock pieces that I've put together also, like the magneto. Tried to make it look original, make it look the part. But this is, if you guys have built these two-stroke motors, then you take a look real close, it'll start to look real familiar, because that's the magneto cover on one of those China-made motors. So that's all that is, and I just formed a piece of sheet metal in between it and sandwiched it all together, and again, it looks the part. We all know that this is on the GC190s, this is the real pickup, but it sure looks, again, the part. This piece I've kind of put together with some aluminum stock and some aluminum metals, so that was just custom made here in my garage. Again, it kind of looks like it's the cam cover and whatnot that would drive that magneto. I used just some custom bracing here, just various little pieces of metal to make an extra stabilizer on this. The bottom plate on this, I got this one from MB Rebel as well. I just custom cut it so that it would fit low into this frame so that I could put the top on this. One of the things that is just kind of my little, I guess, take on it is that everybody likes to use cable ties. I like to use cable ties. I build a lot of cars and trucks, and you want to use cable ties, and they're great. But if you're trying to make this thing look the part, they didn't have those plastic cable ties back then. So what I have done is I'll put a cable tie on it, but then I'll wrap it in the grip tape. And same with up on the handlebars. That's just grip tape. You can get this grip tape at Academy. They use it for the wooden bats. Okay, it works perfect. Again, if you look at some of those original pictures and how they set that stuff up, I think when they went into some of the corners, they would actually hold on to one end of it. But you'll see how I use this grip tape in a number of different places and locations. Again, it just kind of looks the part. The tank. People were asking me about the tank. Where did you buy the tank? If you really want to know, I bought it at Home Depot. That's the truth. This is nothing more than 20 gauge steel that I purchased at Home Depot. Between the patents that you can find online and the dimensions that are given on those patents, and some of the trips that my son and I took to Wheels Through Time, and I think it was Motorcyclepedia was the other museum, we were able to get close enough to those bikes to take the dimensions. So the tank is really, really close to the original dimensions. And all this is bent formed metal, and it's tacked in place. Now, I'll tell you, there are some guys that are building some extraordinary bikes out there, and they're beautiful, and as far as I'm concerned, they're better than the stuff that I build, but they're building them as the tank is, the whole tank is either holding gasoline, or the whole tank is split into the two portions, and this is the actual tank. In my case, I did not do that. What I have is a poly tank on the inside of this. It doesn't carry near as much fuel, but there were a couple of issues that I had. If you've seen some of the other bikes that I've done, this is all, great. It's it is a metal case, but the tank sits inside. If you think about it, how long are you actually riding these? You're not riding them across the country. You're not going to really take one of these Tribute bikes on a cannonball run and go across the country. So you're going to drive it maybe for an hour or so. There is more than enough fuel to run these things for an hour under a load. So that's what I typically do. I run the tank on the inside, and it has worked fine for all the ones that I put together. These are normally would be the drip type system where you turn the fuel and turn the oil type system on. But again, they're mock. They're not used at all. I have the oil set up on this side, gasoline on this side. But again, when you fill that up, it's a poly tank that's on the inside that you're filling up. Okay, so some of the questions that have been asked is this whole patina look, and how do I make it look to be 100 years old? These are not stickers. I know some people were asking me, hey, where did you get your stickers? That's paint. So I made a template and then actually painted inside there and then just traced it. Really isn't as difficult as it sounds. It really wasn't a big deal. But the whole patina thing, to me, I wanted the bikes to look the part. I want them to look like they're 100 years old. So you kind of see the imperfections. It's dinged, it's dented. There probably have been, in barns and things like that for a long period of time. If you look real close, I don't know how well it'll come out on the video. I have added these things that it almost looks like rust in here, and that's what my intent was. In some of these spots, you'll see some kind of worn spots where it's kind of a mixed, of course, this bike originally would have been a gray, the silent gray fellow kind of bike. But what this one is, with the kind of the darker oiled look, and I've used different paints to actually come up with this. This is a combination of a number of things. This in here, where it looks rough and it feels kind of sandy, is, well, I should say they're giving it away. This is actually sand. What I did is I would create, after I painted the tank and it looked pretty, then I would take a little bit of wet spot and actually drop a little bit of sand in there. Let it dry, then come back and spray it again. Then a little bit of flat brown spray paint. Then after I got the tone and they started seeing the colors, then sometimes it may be just an old rag with a little bit of black flat spray paint on it. Just enough to get it wet and kind of touch a little bit here and there. Again, somebody would have been working on these bikes. Somebody would have been doing stuff to them. And you know how it is. It's going to get dirty, and that's just the way it would sit. So that's kind of what I started to do there. I'll do another video in more detail later on how I made the Patina Look. But after I got it to the point where I liked it, I just satin clear coated it. And same thing on a lot of these other pieces. There's a lot of satin clear coat on them just to maintain that 100-year-old look. Okay guys, so I hope that answered the questions I've been getting here recently. We just wanted to kind of give you a closer look at the bike and some of the other details and things like that. I hope that you can use any of this stuff and help towards your build or whatever it is that you're after, whether you're trying to purchase one. You can look at some of the details. Maybe it's going to give you some better questions to ask. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop a comment in this video. I try to answer all of the questions that I can. I also have a Facebook page and Instagram as well. So you guys look for me. It's EDG Classics. Thanks and have a great one.